Hey, what is up guys? Jake here. We're getting back to some Fruit of Grisaia. It's day 8 million of being self-quarantined. And so I dug this gem back up and figured I'd jump right back in where we left off. Before we can get up ourselves, Michiru slides up with an inquiring look on her face. Hopefully some of you know what that means, because I certainly don't remember. Jesus, this game is loud right now. Okay, if memory serves, we were inquiring about what Yumiko does all day.
No, not particularly.
I only stuck around because I'd been planning to continue my calisthenics, because we're cool. But Michiru ignores my answer to her question, draws her own conclusions, and forges ahead with this one-sided excuse for a conversation. It's a good question of why we don't just ask. Presumably it's because she's the one, if memory serves, who's trying to stab us with a box cutter. And that's kind of a turn-off, you know?
Oh, I have better things to do with my time, like ask you the same questions.
Okay, listen. I don't remember, but that sounds in character.
If you want to talk down to me, I'd suggest you first find a hobby other than masturbation, Michiru.
Bring it. Let's fight. I knew it. We all knew it, you knew it, I knew it, everyone knew it. I miss Makina. She always said what we were all thinking, but we're too scared to say, you know? In between that's just good life advice. Write that down. Okay. Wow. We're trying to help you turn your life around. You're just being ungrateful. Clawing furiously at her blonde head, Michiru shrieks a desperate entreaty to the heavens. In the end, our discussion about Sakaki's private life was diverted into the usual headache-inducing nonsense before we could reach any real conclusions. Not that it was a topic of especially great interest to me in the first place. A few sets of push-ups later, and I've mostly forgotten about the whole thing. Wow, well, I'm glad we spent time on it. If it wasn't important to him, why the hell is it important to me?
Well, guess I'm up a bit early.
You could go back to bed, buddy. Probably because yesterday had been a fairly light day. Found myself awake earlier than usual. It's not like that's a bad thing, though. More time for a little calisthenics before my run.
Hobbies, huh?
As I run through my stretches, I find myself thinking about the conversation we had here yesterday. I guess dull is in fact an objectively appropriate word for someone who uses all his free time to exercise. From a conventional viewpoint, training your body might well qualify as a hobby of sorts, but in my case I'm maintaining a tool I need for my profession. Training is just a part of the job for me. So, yes, I basically have no hobbies. I think my personality is mostly to blame because I'm a boring motherfucker. Nothing really tends to capture my interest that strongly or for that long. On that point, I may have something in common with Sakaki, by all appearances. She keeps everything and everyone at arm's length, mainly because she's decidedly uninterested in learning more.
Come to think of it, didn't they say Sakaki, huh?
With the sentence halfway out my mouth, I sensed someone behind me and turned to face them. Oh my god, she's not holding her box cutter. It's like I don't even know this woman. Sakaki is standing by the entrance, staring at me in surprise. There's a bulky tote bag lying at her feet. I can tell her glance is stuffed full of various items. I catch a glimpse of thin wooden objects sticking out the top. You're late. I mean, yes, but whatever. At this point, the conversation from yesterday comes to mind again. The others mentioned Sakaki's habit of leaving the dorm early in the morning by herself. Apart from the large bag she always carries on these trips, no one has any clue what she's getting up to. Not that I'm really interested, but the flow of the conversation seems to call for a little light probing.
You're up early yourself, Sakaki. Where are you off to?
Yeah, put the screws to her. Really tamp down, figure out what's going on. I tried to phrase the question pretty casually. It certainly didn't sound too pushy coming out of my mouth. I honestly was just trying to draw her into a little small talk, but... Oh my, she's gonna kill us. Sakaki purses her lips for a moment before she speaks. Well, I mean, I guess I'll go fuck myself, that's fine too. The sentence she finally fires off somehow manages to be simultaneously sharp and blunt.
What we've got here, Sakaki, is a failure to communicate.
It's a quote from that thing.
I asked where are you off to, and you responded, what I do is no one's business. That's the answer to a slightly different question. You're probably feeling self-conscious about whatever it is you're going off to do, and ended up mishearing what I was asking.
Most things about Yuji... What's this guy's name? Yuji. Most of the things about him are unpleasant. In case anyone's forgotten.
Sadly, it's not really a habit. I was born this way.
Wow, this conversation just got really weird. What could possibly be so bad?
Okay, I won't ask about it again. Bye forever.
Sakaki's face fills with genuine confusion. She's clearly surprised by this ready concession to her demand. Oh, okay, bye-bye.
Yep, see you later. Sorry to bother you.
As Sakaki heads for the exit, I turn around and begin my calisthenics again. But as I'm sitting on the floor and beginning to stretch out my arms, I realize I haven't heard her leave the building yet. What?
What? Do you need something?
What? Cool. Good talk. Sakaki throws open the door in apparent irritation and immediately leaves the dorm. Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself, large woman. Was everyone here the whole time and I just didn't know? I mean, from the look of it, it was a bunch of dildos, right? Why would she need spare weapons? She's already got a really good one.
What, were you watching? You've all got too much time on your hands.
Within seconds of Sakaki's exit, the other four emerged from their hiding places around the lobby.
Don't tell me you actually went out of your way to wake up early so you could watch her leave.
Amani does her best impression of a mischievous child caught with one hand in the cookie jar. It's kind of unpleasant to watch. I mean, that's understandable, and apparently no one else could either. Except for Yuji, who it was totally a coincidence. I'll tell you what, I'll wake up early and ask her tomorrow.
Sorry, but I really don't give a fuck.
In the first place, if it was something Sakaki would feel comfortable talking about, I'm sure she would have responded differently to my casual question. That blunt refusal to talk probably means she has her reasons for keeping her activities to herself. Not so irrepressibly, wow, that word really kicked my ass, curious as to pester her on a sensitive topic, especially when she's not going to reveal anything anyway. Cosplay is your guess. You said, I've only ever seen glow sticks used in a raving type capacity, so that's kind of where I thought that was going, but what do I know?
Oh, your grounds for this deduction?
I mean, it's impeccable. Obviously correct.
Amani, if you'd be so kind as to shut her up now.
Okay, I don't love that analogy, but that's fine. Yes, please start that again.
No, never mind, I don't want that. I don't think there's any reason to put your ninja skills to the test today.
I agree, and this is a game, ideally, we would have fun. But here we are, in isolation, playing a visual novel about high school. Good stuff.
If you want to know that badly, Michiru, go tell her yourself, one-on-one.
Yeah, got her, dude. What does that even mean? Jesus Christ, well, I mean, she lived a full life. She looks like she's ready to die. I'm ready for her to die, so it's fine. No, it's fine. Look, I respect your decision. Bye forever. See, look at that. We'll get 2 new Michirus. Everybody wins. Planarian? What's a planarian?
Look, I'd really like to exercise at some point if you don't mind.
Man, Yuji's so cool. We got her now.
Yo, suh, dude!
Later that same day, shortly after finishing my outdoor training, I happened to be doing some cooldown exercise in the dorm lobby just as Sakaki returns. She's holding her bag in the shadow cast by her own body, as if consciously trying to hide it from view.
Look, I'm sorry about this morning.
First off, an apology for my earlier rudeness seemed called for. Cool. Sakaki offers a vague non-response, squirming awkwardly where she stands.
Okay, bye-bye.
I turn away and restart my calisthenics, but Sakaki doesn't move a muscle.
What, Sakaki? What do you want?
When I call out to her for the second time, Sakaki flinches in surprise and shoots me a fierce glare. Cool, good talk. You came up to me. Clearly talking to herself rather than me, she stomps off in the direction of her room.
Cool.
Well, after Sakaki's vanished from view, I'm still staring after her. The girl might not have said much of anything to me just now, but it's obvious she's strangely tense.
I wonder if something's wrong.
Wow, Yuji knows how to read women like a book. As I'm puzzling over the matter, a certain woman of unusual proportions appears out of nowhere. What? Look, man, they're not... Her proportions aren't that weird. They're quite pleasing to some, you know what I mean? Amane approaches me. Oh, she's approaching with a knowing smirk on her face.
Oh yeah? I didn't get that feeling personally.
Okay, so first of all, kinda rude. Second of all, I don't remember anyone asking you. Rather than sitting on the sofa, Amane drops herself cross-legged onto the ground. Drawing her face close to me as I exercise, as if to give me a whiff of her perfume, she continues. Oh my goodness, she's so close. Not particularly, actually. Less interested, if anything.
Sorry, exactly what in the conversation just now suggested that to you?
Oh man, Yuji's not that smart. That cannot possibly be correct.
I don't know about you, but I don't approach my relationships with other people as if they were a fish I'm trying to catch.
Yeah, she is very good at the, frontal attacks.
True, full frontal certainly seems more plausible in your case, sorry. I misjudged you.
Look at that, me and Yuji, same wavelength, making the same titty jokes. Oh, he does mean for it, I can assure you. I've met this kind of person. They're the worst.
Sadly, I was born this way.
It's probably fun every time she does it, otherwise why would she keep doing it?
Well, I guess being alone is the less painful choice sometimes.
You know, if it's being alone or being with you guys, I would choose alone every time. Anyways, later. I guess. Why'd this happen? That's fine. Thank God we fast-forwarded to this. Cool. Okay. The weekend behind us, we're back in the classroom. As the day's lessons reach their conclusion, Sachi leads us to the formal bow that marks the end of our every school day. The weekdays are nice and simple. Given a set schedule, I can coast peacefully through without having to worry about how I'm spending my time, or about being insulted over my lack of interests. I shoulder my bag and leave the classroom. Well, thank God we had that scene. Wow, I learned so much from that. After dropping my stuff off in my room, I found myself heading to the roof of the dormitory for no reason in particular. When I can't think of anything to do with myself, sometimes I'll search out places where I can be alone and look at the sky. I wouldn't say I prefer solitude, but every once in a while I'm seized by the need to get a break from the clamor of daily life, which has been very noisy indeed lately.
Huh?
As I swing the door slowly open, I realize there's someone already on the roof. The instant I step foot outside, she's staring at me with a slightly suspicious look on her face. What do you want? It's a free roof, dude.
Sorry, but we do live in the same building. We're gonna run into each other sometimes.
You kinda were, but that's fine.
So, can I come up or something?
Great. Having obtained Sakaki's assent, I stand beside the handrail and gaze up into the sky. It's a vivid shade of blue today. Wow, crazy how that works. The sun shines powerfully down on us. I can feel the heat rising off the iron railing in front of me. After a moment, Sakaki turns to me and breaks the silence. What?
What?
I'm trying. You keep waking me up. It's very rude.
No, I'm awake.
Sometimes people just stand quietly and don't talk. They don't make noises with their mouth holes.
What, would you prefer me to talk about something? Or ask you questions?
Great. Okay, so we're agreed. We're gonna stand here quietly.
I see. In that case, I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
Cool. Sakaki tilts her head back slightly and gazes into the sky for a long moment. Her long hair catches the sea breeze and flutters like a flag. All the time. Constantly even. I'm always up here.
Who cares? Why do you ask?
Have we? Did that happen before I was playing this game?
True, now that you mention it.
I lean forward and grip the warm iron railing with both hands as I speak. Every once in a while, I guess. Just to look up at the sky by myself. Oh, whoop, that was Yuji's voice. Pretend I did that in Yuji's voice. I'm not doing it again.
It really is every once in a while. Anyway, that's the only reason I came up here. Everyone has times they want to be alone, right?
No, I'm stating something, actually.
No, we're talking about me here. Me. I'm Yuji. Hello.
The sunlight today really is powerful. Very much a midsummer day. The shadow of a kite flying overhead. Where would a kite be that's higher than who cares? Moves slowly across the roof. Wings and beak clearly defined against the concrete. So they're flying a kite higher than a building. I mean, I guess. Maybe it's a short building. I don't know. As I follow the shadows moving with my eyes, Sakaki blurts out unexpected words. Dude, you really overestimate how much I care about you.
About what?
God, man. You know, I just don't care even a little bit. Sakaki turns her face ever so slightly towards me as she speaks. Yuji was leaving at the same hour and you didn't ask him.
Yeah, I mean, I did ask, remember?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, well, you didn't seem interested in talking, and I don't like to waste my time.
You told me you didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't bring it up. I mean, if you changed your mind, I figured you'd let me know. I'm not gonna stick my nose in other people's business.
I turned my head slightly towards Sakaki, meeting her gaze out of the corner of my eye.
With the exception of when somebody wants me to.
That policy isn't limited to Sakaki. I'm trying not to interfere with any of the students here more than necessary. I don't dislike any of them. I don't have any reason to go out of my way to avoid them, but all the same, I don't have any reason to get closer to them. Well, Yuji's a real romantic. That said, when they're the ones approaching me, there's no need to reject them either. I'm trying to maintain that subtle balance as my master taught me. Sakaki stares steadily at my feet. Her expression lies somewhere between puzzlement and curiosity. I don't know what's gotten her interested all of a sudden, but it's clearly different from her usual apathetic gaze.
What?
And my question, Sakaki exhales lightly and closes her eyes. Cool. I'm really glad we had this talk. I really learned absolutely nothing. Sakaki abruptly walks away from the railing and heads for the stairs. Halfway there, she pauses briefly and looks back in my direction.
Right, cool. Man, do I not care at all?
And my concise response, Sakaki's expression again takes on a shade of amusement. Oh, believe me, we're all very much aware.
For some reason, I get that a lot. Honestly, can't understand why.
For a moment, there's a rare smile on Sakaki's face. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Sakaki opens the iron door and disappears inside the dorm. The kite I've been watching draws a lazy arc in the sky as if to wave farewell, then floats out of sight. The sun begins its slow descent towards the horizon as evening approaches. I push myself back from the railing and walk slowly towards the stairs, feeling the sun-warmed concrete underneath my feet.
An odd one, huh? Don't know if you're one to talk.
Got her, dude. Great burn. You should tell her next time you see her. Her hypocrisy's kind of charming. Feels like I've been lectured about drinking too much by an alcoholic. For some reason, I feel like I've warmed up to Sakaki a bit. Maybe we've got more in common than I realized. Aww. Well, that whole arc was an absolute fucking waste of time, but that is where I'm going to draw this episode to a close. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like that, don't forget to like, subscribe, and be sure to tune next week for something else with yours truly. I'll see you guys then.